Hi, everyone, and welcome. Today we're doing a deep dive into something, well, honestly, pretty game-changing. We're talking about running large language models, LLMs, right there on your own machine. Our mission today, to cut through all the noise, the complexity, and really show you how you can do this. Think about it. Without the cloud, no vendor lock-in, completely under your control. Now, I know a lot of you have probably felt, limited by API calls or maybe had concerns about privacy. So you might be asking yourself, what does having this kind of power, like right on my own desktop, actually unlock for me?
Yeah, it's a really good question. And what's so fascinating here is just how profound the shift really is. For quite a while now, powerful AI felt sort of distant, didn't it? Locked away in these huge data centers. But bringing LLMs local, that's not just some technical trick. It's really about reclaiming sovereignty. Sovereignty over your own data, over your development process. It means, unparalleled data autonomy and speed. Lightning fast responses because there's zero network latency. And ultimately, it's about control, total control over the models, the environment. It really is about owning the engine, not just borrowing the keys from someone else.
Owning the engine, I like that. It's a powerful way to put it. So, okay, the benefits is clear: privacy, speed, control. But I imagine for someone listening, someone keen to try this, the whole idea of running a large language model on their personal computer. Well, it still sounds a bit like magic, right? What's the practical reality here? What are the nuts and bolts? How does it work? And what do you actually need to get started?
Exactly. And connecting it back to that bigger picture, it really does boil down to those three core pillars the sources kept highlighting: privacy, speed, and control. Think about privacy first. We're living in an age of, well, seemingly constant data breaches. Local LLMs offer this kind of digital sanctuary, a safe place for your most sensitive data, your creative work. You're entirely in charge of your digital footprint. Then speed. Yeah, no more hitting those frustrating API rate limits or just waiting for the cloud to respond. Your model runs instantly, right there, which makes the whole creative process, the iteration, so much more fluid. And then control, yeah, the freedom to tweak the model, fine-tune it exactly how you need it, to experiment without someone else's constraints, and importantly, to protect your own intellectual property. This kind of autonomy, it naturally brings us to the practical side, doesn't it? Like, what hardware and software do you actually need to make this happen on your machine?
Yes, exactly. That practical next step. I think that's what a lot of listeners are probably wondering right now. And the sources, they're pretty clear on the essentials. First up, you need a decent machine, laptop or PC. Ideally, it should have at least 8 gigs of RAM, though honestly, more is always better with these models, much better. Then you need what's called a local runtime, basically the software environment that lets your computer run the LLM. Popular choices are things like Ollama, that one's quite user-friendly, good for getting started. Or for maybe more direct control, there's llama.cpp, which is a really powerful library. And crucially, you absolutely need what's called a quantized model. This is key. It's really the secret sauce to getting these big models to actually fit and run efficiently on, regular personal computers.
That point about quantized models is so, so important. You really hit it there. Because running these models locally means you have to be, well, really mindful of their sheer size. A raw, say, 70 billion parameter model. It just won't fit on most consumer hardware without serious optimization. Forget it. And that's exactly where quantization comes into play. By using formats like Q4 or Q6, you're effectively compressing the model. You reduce the precision of its weights. This saves a ton of memory and it gives you a significant performance boost. And the trade-off, the drop in quality. For most tasks, it's actually pretty minimal, surprisingly so. And this isn't just like a technical win, it's really about democratizing powerful AI. It means these advanced capabilities aren't just for the big guys with massive data centers or huge budgets anymore. It fundamentally changes who gets to innovate with AI.
Right. Okay, so once you have that set up, the hardware, the runtime, the quantized model, the next big question is always, okay, how do I actually do this?
Yeah.
And the sources point to Ollama, again, as a particularly user-friendly way in. A good starting point for that hands-on experience. You basically just install Ollama. They have installers for different platforms like Homebrew for Mac users or a dedicated Windows installer. Pretty straightforward. Then you download a quantized model. Something like, say, Llama 2.7b, you can grab that directly through Ollama itself. And then, well, then you just run a simple command in your terminal, like Ollama run Llama 2, and boom, the chatbot is live right there on your desktop,
ready for you to interact with. And the conversation itself, no internet needed for that part. It's all local.
It really is surprisingly accessible, isn't it? Much more than people might think. And yeah, for those who are maybe a bit more advanced or, want to push things further, tools like llama.cpp, they give you that lower level control, including things like full GPU and CUDA support, so you can really tap into your graphics card's power for maximum speed. The sources also mentioned for even deeper dives, things like model selection, how to tune inference, templates for real-world use cases. There's a really valuable resource in the Data for AI book. Apparently, it's packed with practical advice, including chapters on managing model pipelines, ethical considerations, basically a full toolkit for building robust AI apps locally.
So bringing this all together, what does this actually mean for you listening right now? I think the central revelation from this deep dive is pretty clear. Running powerful large language models locally isn't science fiction anymore. It's not some futuristic concept. It's practical. It's attainable today. With the right tools, the right setup, you really can build some impressive AI applications directly from your own personal machine. And it truly does circle back to that powerful idea we mentioned earlier, this concept of sovereignty in the AI age that the sources highlight.
Absolutely. And that sovereignty, it's more than just privacy, isn't it? It implies this whole new level of independence, of creative control, real agency. It really invites you, the listener, to think about what this increased power means. What could it mean for your own personal projects? For developing totally new applications without those old bottlenecks? Or even just thinking bigger, what does it mean for the whole landscape of AI development? It really shifts the power dynamic. And maybe as a final thought to chew on, how does this ability to build directly, to tinker and iterate right there on your own hardware, how does that fundamentally shape the actual future of AI? Where does it take us? And remember, the sources we looked at also point to further exploration guides on actually fine-tuning these LLMs for specific tasks you might have. And that practical advice on pipelines and ethics, especially in the Data for AI book, seems really valuable for next steps.
It's an incredibly empowering position to be in, truly. The future of AI, well, it really belongs to those who build it. And now building it can start right on your own machine. So stay curious, stay engaged, and keep building.